Okay, hello. I think we're live. Josh, you there with us?
I'm here.
Awesome. Let's go to the stream intro.
Okay.
Hi everybody. I'm getting the thumbs up from my wife who's monitoring the stream. Bit of a different stream today. We haven't had a Fishbowl release since I started live streaming, and I planned on the next release of Fishbowl to also coincide with a Fishbowl release. So we're doing a special live stream today where we're just reviewing Fishbowl 2020.5. If you're new to the stream, welcome. I'm joined by our co-host Joshua Clark. Josh, say hi to the audience.
Hey, hi to the audience.
Josh is our resident QuickBooks Pro Advisor, associate consultant for ILC, and he's outside of well, actually not outside. He's in New York. And
Yep.
Josh, how's it been going so far?
Well, we're escaping very soon. My in-laws just closed on a farm sort of place in South Jersey, so we're hoping to get out of the city.
Oh, really? Wow, Josh, congratulations. That's
You
awesome.
know, we spent the half the day there just kind of like looking at the place. It's pretty cool. It has like a little pond and a creek and fish and not city people. Nothing in the city is out there.
Okay.
Hopefully, no COVID-19.
Oh,
So
let's hope that too, because
yeah,
that sounds like a very idyllic place.
yeah,
Anyway,
calm down.
let's continue with the stream. So what I thought we would do today is essentially run Fishbowl 2020.3, the previous release of Fishbowl, and 2020.5, the latest release of Fishbowl. And I've, because of my relationship with Fishbowl, we do some work for them, and we do a lot of Fishbowl consulting. We're able to get some of the preview releases. That's why in a previous live stream we had a just a discussion on the sequel changes that would occur with Fishbowl, and what we mean by sequel is also the report changes, right? We'll touch on that a little bit, but today, for the first part of the live stream, we're going to be talking about the features of the changes in Fishbowl. We're just going to go through the release notes, kind of navigate through what we think is kind of cool or not cool in the Fishbowl upgrade, and that way our customers can stay informed, because we're also doing this for not just for ourselves internally for our ILC staff, but also for our customers who may be interested on what is really changing between Fishbowl 2020.3 and 5. And what better way to do it than to experience it live? This is the really the first time I've seen all the updates. I try not to look at all the changes that Fishbowl has before they're done with it. It's not fair so much. So we're gonna just do this live. We've got a couple of tests that we want to run through and show how that works. I even have a database with that's pretty large, 3 GB Fishbowl database that will allow us to really compare uh, performance of Fishbowl in a real environment, um, and from there we'll be able to make some uh, decisions or some ideas on whether we're giving it the thumbs up or the thumbs sideways for Fishbowl. I don't want to give them a thumbs down. They work really hard over there, but when you know things could need improvement, no harm in saying it needs improvement. That sound good, Josh?
Good to me.
Awesome. Let's do it. So what I'm going to do is switch over to my computer here and minimize that. So one thing that we should probably comment a little bit. I've never seen this before on a Fishbowl release. They have this new little pop-up saying, "Read this paragraph before, so you can download the new update." And you click on it, now you can download the update, right? Which is new.
Smart,
Yeah,
smart,
smart. It
smart.
prevents people from like blindly looking at it. In fact, I didn't even finish reading it, so let's refresh. Let's look at it.
I guess it's not that smart. They
Yeah,
should make
well,
you like they should make you read like which one has a bus or a capture thing. Did you really read it? What's on the third word
can
on the
you
second line?
uh separately? There's like a meme website called User in Your Face that
Oh
my
yeah.
wife and she's in UI. Well, she has an appreciation for art and UI, and it's really funny. That's a separate conversation. It's just like
I'll
really
check it
bad UI experiences. But I was thinking to myself, like, if that was being done to this page, they'd have like check boxes for every line.
out.
You know how like
That's
in
funny.
contracts is like you must initial every line.
Right, right.
Do that for this. So anyway, they're just saying like, look, custom fields are changing. You need to have your reports and plugins take a look at things. or the partner that built the plugin prior to updating 2025, and that would be us. And we can I can speak to that towards the end of the stream. What we're doing to handle that. In fact, we actually starting the conversation with some of our existing customers. We're going, from our topmost impacted customer down and figuring out what their plans are for the upgrade because we just want to know, right? Anyway, so that's your first inclination. Of course, you do get the pop up from the Fishbowl. Let me just double check I have things right because I want to be very careful. I don't want to have anything where I accidentally disclose information because I'm using my actual work laptop for this live stream. Last time I tried to use the virtual machine, just didn't work. I think I just need to buy more computers. I just need to just need to stop worrying about it and buy more hardware. Okay, I think I've got Fishbowl started up again the right way. There we go. And what I'll do, actually, can I do that? Can I be careful? Am I careful enough? Yes, I'm careful enough. We'll do client, Fishbowl client. There we go. Okay, so this is the Fishbowl bikes database that comes with Fishbowl. They've changed the dashboard screen. You can see a lot more going on with it. If we go to the release notes, before we get too far, let's go pull up the release notes. Let's go from the top down. Why not? Oh, in fact, they've got these new announcements as well. Again, same thing. Call Fishbowl or call your partner. In this case, might be us or somebody else, and let them know that you're going to upgrade and that they need to make sure that they update the way things are going, right? So, don't blindly hit update on your own. Anyway, so let's get into the first one here. Custom field improvements. It sends you to a link, but I'm not really sure what they mean by just that. I think I know what it is. They've added new features. They've added new functionality. So we're gonna kind of go through that a little bit. Maybe explore some other parts of Fishbowl as we see it. But I think this whole category of custom field updates is going to be down to, allowing, for example, when you created a new custom field, you could use it, but I think in like the advanced searches, you had to close and reopen the client in order to see it, right? For example, the custom list location, layout functionality, custom field module layout functionality, advanced search. Yeah, let's go dive into that. Those are the first ones. So let's go take a look at what the custom field setup looks like. So I'm going to go to setup custom field. And it looks like we have things a bit different now. We have, instead of like the previous menu, which I don't know if there's a way to show it, but now you can see custom fields down this way, right? And you can click on new, and you'd be picking your module. That's good. So I've got a new sales order custom field. We call it Josh custom field. And it looks like we've got the option to have a checkbox, count, date, drop-down list, text, money, more text, URL. So I'm going to make a couple ones here. Probably, I want to see the URL one. See how that looks like, right? And I think I got to go over to sales order. Yep, got to go to sales order to see it. And then let's see what else we got. We've got text. Yep. Josh, did I lose you? You there? I assume you are. Oop. Unfortunately, with the power of the internet, I've lost Josh. He'll be back. It's Zoom. Blame Zoom. Sorry, Zoom. Let's take a look at the date. See if date. Let's do a couple things here. and maybe CF checkbox. Do that one too. Checkbox. Cool. What else? Just so I don't feel like super alone. Oh, Josh, you there?
Yeah, it just cut out for some reason. I don't know what
Oh, okay.
happened.
All right, cool. I was gonna
Yes.
text you here in a minute.
No, sorry, it just froze and then just reset itself.
I hope the live stream didn't bug out, but then we're
I
not doing
don't
too.
think so. It's been happening on me mostly.
Not
I
bad.
have this happen every once in a while with Zoom.
Okay, so we added some custom fields. We don't need to spend too much time there. I just wanted to see what they look like. Let's take a look at lists. Cool. We've got lists, different lists. We've got going on referrals, things like that. Let's do a new list. Um, flavors. Maybe we've got strawberry. We got peach. We've got, I don't know, taro. Love me some taro. Thumbs up from the wife. We've got, okay, cool. So easy. I assume these are going to convert fine from Fishbowl. They don't look that different. In fact, this is a much nicer experience. If anything, to add or manipulate the custom list, it took a lot of screens, a lot of clicking to get here. So this is definitely
Yeah.
an improvement. Let's go pop over to sales order where we made some changes, right? And let's go open a sales order. All right, no obvious changes here that I've seen so far, but let's go look at the custom tab. So we've got the checkbox, right?
Yeah.
We've got the URL, which is nice because before we only had the URL here once for
Yeah.
the sales order, right? And I've used that URL field in the past to link to Shopify or something like that. This could be really useful because then we could link to a folder. Maybe we've got you know, something like that, right? Or maybe probably easier, uh, my GMDH folder, right? And if I click on that, it was my folder. Cool. So
Nice.
that's cool. I can see a lot of companies having some sort of project management solution with that, right? Either they link to like a folder on SharePoint or whatever these other places, or they link them to just simple folders on their network, right? Because I presume that you can also link to network drives. It doesn't really matter. But the only thing that I wish you could do, and this is I'm sorry, I'm going to give you some criticism, Fishbowl, is like that URL link isn't very appealing. It'd be
Oh,
nice.
reader
It would
friendly.
be nice to be the name of the custom field that says, documents folder.
Uh,
It's clickable. It's blue. You can click on it. But that's just me. Um, custom fields, custom dates. I don't think there's anything fancy about that. Counts. Nothing fancy about that. Josh. Nothing fancy about that. And we'll save. Okay. So that's custom fields. I think if we're talking about custom fields, they've also added custom fields to reports. No, I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. I think they talked about that as the option, but I don't think they've added it to anywhere. Do they have that anywhere? No.
guess that's what custom reports are for.
Yep. I'm interested to see what they mean by this. Add integration estimated tax to total.
I think that has to do with Avalara. It's actually in the old copy too. So
Yeah,
I had a
really?
client
Yeah.
ask last week.
I'll
Yeah,
check.
I'm pretty sure it's something about like if you have Avalara set up, you can set up a tax estimate based on for even the estimate, and then it probably checks it again before the actual invoice is closed. I think that's what it has to do.
Oh, so then it adds that column to the side here. Yeah, I see it. Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I mean, it's not dependent on Avalara. I guess the benefit would be if you have like an integration and you wanted to see what the current tax.
Right, right. I mean, I'd be interested to see what that's about. Okay, cool. So
Okay.
that's that's custom fields, how you create it, the layout, the functionality. Um, before I switch over to the searching, I just have to see this. I've been begging for pick custom fields because we can do stuff like this. This is some of my ideas. Um, um, let's say latest inventory arrival date, right? We set that to a date, and we set it. And if I go to the pick, presumably, I go to the custom tab. Now we can see whether the latest inventory arrival date could be set, and we can start driving process, right? Let the sales custom fields be sales custom fields, and let operational custom fields for like picking, of like when it should be arriving or other notes and things like that. Let that stay on the pick because we've my team we've taught people to use different priority levels to kind of have like an extended status. We've taught people how to use different schedule dates for extended status. We've been we've definitely abused the location group for kind of giving activity. The memos were great. They're fine. I don't think anything's changed there with them, but having a more control over here on the by adding a custom tab is definitely useful. Definitely useful. Anyway, so now let's get back to the sales order. I want to check out advanced search. And advanced search doesn't show my new custom fields. Ooh, do I have to cause a restart? Let's see. Let's go to sales order, open it again. Advanced search, no. Fishbowl, I think I found a bug. All right, let's restart the client. Sorry, Fishbowl. I'm finding your bugs live. Okay, so we've got the client up again. Let's take a look at the sales order. Let's go back to the custom field advanced search, and there we go. Cool.
Nice.
So a bit different things now. We've got the URL field still. We've got so most of these are just the same. The thing that's a bit different though is these checkboxes, which were always a problem, and I very much appreciate what they're doing here. Then you can now search whether the checkbox is checked, unchecked, or any, or all, right? So if I want it to be checked, and then I find it, right? Not a problem. But if I want the ones that are unchecked, I get the opposite. So I got 9 there. So now if I do all, I should find 10. Cool. I mean, I like that. I really do appreciate that. I think that's a great quality of life kind of thing. That's always I've had to on a downbeat explain. Yeah, that's the not great part of Fishbowl. But let's go look at some other great things about Fishbowl instead. So advanced type. Okay, so we just saw that. URL type for custom fields. Awesome. Part custom fields and values now display in the inventory module. Cool. Let's go take a look at that. So if we go to part, we've got our B200 typical. We've got our custom field. You know what? That needs more custom fields. That we need more custom fields. So what we're going to do is add a new custom field for flavor. Now let's use our list custom field from earlier. And there we go. Cool. Got flavor. So now our brake cables are Taro flavored. Why not?
You gotta eat. You're really hungry.
Yeah, So if we go to inventory, this is cool. So we got our regular general tab, the costing tab. That's not that much. That's not much different. But we also have this custom tab, so you can see it. You can't edit it, but at least now you can see it. Can you?
You can't see the option.
And I think they've added this because Josh, correct me if I'm wrong. Was custom fields available in the advanced search?
Yeah.
I think it was. I could be wrong. Frequently wrong. Okay, that's cool. I've added the ability to delete custom fields and values. That seems pretty easy. Added custom fields to the picking module. That's cool. Added advanced fields to the custom advanced search. Money and quantity type now store blank and 0 values. Cool. We've got converted radio button custom fields to required drop-down lists. Interesting. So So what that meant, I think I missed that. So we have a type drop down list required primary flavor. Say the same flavor. Call this secondary flavor. Okay, that works. And then when we're looking at something like this again, let's go back to inventory. Let's refresh what we got here. Secondary flavor, primary flavor. Okay. And then let's take a look at the part again. Cool. And now that it's required, it can either be blank or required. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So it's required. Interesting. Is that a required field for the purposes of creation or the purposes of edit?
Interesting. Make a new.
Yeah. Let's go make a new one. Let's actually make Taro T100. No, T1000. Here we go.
Nice. Terminator.
How can a Terminator be scary when he's called Taro?
I don't know. Maybe if you don't know what Taro means.
Josh, do you not know what Taro is?
I did not, so I would be scared of him probably.
Okay, so so now we're at the custom part creation wizard. We'll try to create it, and yes, it does tell us that we need a custom field.
Nice.
So interesting how it doesn't stop you from skipping over that, which is I agree. Maybe that's not the best use of our time.
What is Taro for those of us who don't know?
Okay, so we'll have a little detour. Taro is this particular root, and once it's cooked, it's purple in nature. It's a Hawaiian yam, essentially, and it's fantastic. I love it in bubble tea.
Awesome.
But but you gotta get good taro. You can't get the powdered taro. Then it just gets too gritty. And it's not.
They don't use those in those chips. You know those chips. What are they called?
I think they
the
make
black bag
taro
like potato, like sweet potato and stuff.
Oh well, okay. So they do make taro chips. Yes.
Yeah, Tara.
Yeah. So they make.
They are Tara.
Yep, they make. I'm sure they make them too. But there's also purple corn, as well.
Okay.
Anyway,
cool.
Enough of our little taro detour.
Nice. We learned this. This has been brought to you by Tara chips.
We are not sponsored by anybody. In fact, we're negatively sponsored, probably. Okay, so added access right for part editing the unit of measure. I haven't had that be a problem, but I wonder what happened when that became a problem. Because let's go take a look. Edit part unit of measure. Yep. So that's new. So I assume that if you don't have that right, you can't edit the unit of measure, which if we're gonna try to do this on our Taro Terminator, we can change it because we're an admin, but I think that just the pencil goes away when you're not using it. I haven't tested it, so we'll see. What we got? Access right, canceled staff for orders and cancel status. Okay, this is cool. I think that's a new one. So instead of voiding it, cancel also is a new button. I saw that earlier, but I didn't want to talk about it yet. So we'll cancel it. I want to cancel it.
So that means it's like the customer actually. It's like the difference between customer cancel and there's a mistake and we void it.
Yeah, look at this. There's actual status canceled.
Oh, nice.
Which I wonder what is the difference between canceled and voided. Let's go try this again.
I think from QuickBooks, like in the QuickBooks world, voided is something like you make a mistake, you print the wrong check or something like that. You can void it. Canceled might be more like an order, which was you issued the order, it's all out there, and then they call up and say, you know what, we're canceling this. So it's more like customer control. That's my thought.
Yeah. Customer canceled versus our voiding.
Yeah.
Okay, I can deal with that. That's
like we may have made a mistake, and we just say, okay, you know what, we're voiding this order. Let's do the same thing again, another way because we screwed that one up.
Yeah. Yep. Let's go take a look at the docs. What they say about it. They probably had something like that. Module options. Oops, probably need to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Sorry for everybody that's probably looking at this on a phone. Gotta zoom out for the page to load correctly. Um, okay. Cancel will permanently set the order status to cancel. This function is similar to void, except that it can be used even if the order is picked or packed. Okay, let's go try that. I should have said that. So we're gonna go. This one's in progress because it's partially picked, and we're gonna finish this. Oh yeah, it's got a serial number, and we're gonna pack the order. And it wants us to. Okay, so now it's packed, right? So if we go ahead and cancel it now, what is it going to do? Canceled. So I assume if I go back to the picking module, it's gone. It's been deleted. Interesting. Go to the shipment module, that's also gone too. So a little bit of explanation here. That canceled is like your one button undo, right? And I remember talking to this to another customer of ours, because what was happening is that particular customer, they were voiding or canceling or voiding an order, and somehow in the process, staff members were forgetting to actually back it out all the way, right? And the order was actually getting re-picked and shipped, even though it was supposed to be voided. So now I can, Deb, if you're out there, if you're watching this, this button's for you, because now we don't have to worry about people voiding or canceling the order incorrectly, because it's one button, right? So I imagine, if I'm going to be a little smart here, what I would like to see, and can the host get some water too? Because I'm getting parched. Sorry, a little back behind the scenes action over here. So I assume there's going to be a delete, void, cancel. But it's an all or nothing kind of thing, which I guess makes sense. You see that, Josh? That the delete, void, cancel is actually the same access right together.
Right. Which makes sense because you wouldn't want to give somebody access to just void something and not. I don't know. Like, why would there be less control of something? I mean, less responsibility.
Yeah, I was thinking there was actually maybe three different ways, like an actual delete access right, a void access right, and a cancel.
Oh, and a cancel. Right. Yeah. Somebody can delete but not cancel. Right. Well, delete is probably the biggest responsibility inside of the system.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, I'll show it to customers and see if that causes their problems in their process. You know. So let's see here. Cancel stamp, advanced search for the user module. That's okay. Historical purchase orders. Okay. The status for historical purchase orders. So if I go back to this, I think they've I don't think they've added it to the. That's interesting. They forgot to add it to their wiki. Look at that. So I expected it to see there, right? And I assume it's similar for purchase orders. Let's see if they've updated the wiki on their purchase orders. Nope, it's not there either. So I was expecting a little more information there. Let's go take a look at what it actually is in Fishbowl. So the status, I guess there's no way to see it other than that. Could you, I think, if I'm going to be reaching here, that is in the import-export template. Status. Okay, here we go. There are three. Sorry, I'm finding all your documentation mistakes, guys. This is just. It wasn't that far. It was like, just a few characters up, and you would have noticed. So 10s are estimates. Yeah, that's cool. We do that. 20s are issued. That's awesome. 95s are historicals. Cool. Yeah, because in the past, when we're talking maybe Fishbowl 2018, even maybe earlier, I forget when they took it out, but at some point they actually removed the ability to import an order already as voided, right? And that was our trick to import historical transactions, right? So now they just have a status ID of 95. So I imagine that if I go to the database, tables, SO status, we've got estimate, estimate issued in progress, fulfilled, closed short, voided, which are 80s, not 85s, which are canceled, expired, which are 90s, and historical, which are 95s. Very cool. I'll use that for sure. What else we got? Just the fact that Fishbowl needs to update their docs. That's about it. Updated available for sale title to available, which I'm not so sure why that's a thing. But that could just be because of communication. Yeah, I can see that. Did you get any customers, Josh, that got confused by available for sale versus available to pick?
No. No, because available for sale, I always explain to them, just like it means it's allocated. Well, oh, I see. Because there's available for sale is going to be minus allocated, but available to pick is going to be what you have
Committed, less committed.
less committed. So, I mean, it's a difference. What do they do now? They just put it in here as allocated, not
As
available.
available. Yep.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, to be very, very fair, when I talk to customers, they always I want to see my quantity available.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So if you speak in those terms, then it makes sense to not confuse the customer too much. Right.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. I get that. Added a module option in the company module to require data module access to run queries to the API. That's eerily specific. Let's go look. Company module options. Require data module access right to run queries through the API. Yep. 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 Okay, now I get it. So I think what would happen is if this is off, which is default, which is what most customers currently have, users could run queries uh, against the Fishbowl database using the API, right? Because you're that kind of person. And I guess if you figure that out, then you can query things that maybe you're not supposed to query, right? And this would be that you'd block off that access to run database queries over the API connection, and you'd be able to lock that down. So okay, I get it. Um, yeah, that's probably nothing too big. Homepage layout has been updated. Let's take a look at that. Interesting.
Separated it.
Oh, Josh, what do you think?
It's cleaner. I mean, I'm trying to remember what it was before. It was just one sheet. Dashboard calendar, transport RMA. Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's a step up. What do you think?
Um, I think it's fine. Although I think the receiving icon doesn't really make sense.
Receiving.
You see that? The arrow is pointing back out. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
That's just being nitpicky. I'm just trying to be
okay.
funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in terms of, in fact, I've done this many times. This is what you would call a swim lane, right? And you'd
Right.
say purchasing areas are the vendor, purchase order, receiving. Done. Manufacturing, you've got parts, which need bill of materials, which then need manufacture orders, which then go into inventory. Cool. And then you've got sales, which start with the customer, a sales order, you pick it, you ship it, that's it. And then you've got your other modules like reports, dashboard, calendar, transfer order, and RMA. So the transfer order module now, because before they had like the big old inventory button in the middle. Remember that? And like
Yeah.
all these things kind of fed into inventory, right?
Right.
Which I guess is just confusing. That's fine. Let them have let their design changes. That's not a problem. Did calendar get any cool things? No, still the same calendar. I'd love for calendar to be cooler. Um, in fact, I'd love calendar to be like Airtable, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go to back to home. I've opened all these tabs. Dashboard's cool. So I'll take a moment to, pay the bills before we continue with the talk. This dashboard here, my company is working on completing our own set of KPIs that you can add to the dashboard here. We've got probably I think 20, 23, 25 KPIs that we can add for sales purposes. We've got also KPIs that are intended for manufacturing, purchasing, inventory, that sort of thing. All using the Fishbowl database, using advanced charting that we get from one of our third-party components, and you can get that at the link. The link there. See the camera, Josh. You can't see it. The link right there. It's stored at israellopezconsulting.com.
Okay.
My you can't see the camera, but my image is flipped on the stream, so I got to figure out where my finger was going
Oh,
uh, to point out where the URL was. And anyways, we'd love to have you visit the site. Tell us what you think of the products we have in the store. We'll be adding more and more throughout the summer. We've been working on them more because of COVID, but I would love to get some feedback on what we're doing there. Okay.
why don't we do a demo on those?
We will do a demo on those,
Yeah.
and that will be probably another live stream where we go
Yeah.
build. And actually, that if there's time, Josh, I haven't asked you yet, but if there's time, I'd love to do like a Office 365 ODBC thing tomorrow,
Sure.
a iReport thing tomorrow, and then maybe a BI script thing tomorrow as well.
Sure.
A 3 for 3. Last week we did 3 things. We did ODBC, Power BI,
Right.
and Tableau in one stream. So now we can do the Office 365, iReport, and BI scripts, so we can get the trifecta going. We've got a lot of good feedback on that. So if you want to join us for the sequel series, we'd love to have you there. It's fun. Okay, back to the list here. Module option for Canadian databases. Okay, that's Canada. Not that I don't care. I just have like two. I literally had like 2 customers for Canada, and they don't connect to Canada.
That seemed very disparaging to Canadians. I was born in
Please,
Montreal.
please don't ban me from Canada.
Actually, right now, it's a good place to go, probably.
It's probably a good place to go.
Yeah.
I've shot myself in the foot. And always, yeah, whatever. Purchase order summary. These are reports. Well, people can. They're. I mean, the reports are cool. They are what they are. Fixes. Okay, so now we get to a little more of importance here. With the fixes, this is what for ILC. What we've been doing. We've actually been trying to communicate that to our customers one-on-one. Is we're prioritizing customers who need the fixes because of it's causing them issues in their business, or they need it for accounting or what have you. So if we get customers that are upgrading and we're just busy because we're fixing other companies that have that needed the fixes first, we're prioritizing those. That shouldn't take too long. We'll get to everybody else who's upgraded without planning a little later, after we've also helped our customers who have planned. At this point, no one's actually called us to plan an upgrade yet. We hope that they do, because we just need time. There's just we've got 100 customers in our active customer list, and that is definitely challenging to try to handle 100 customers in an 8-hour day. It just can't be done. So if you have to fix this, you let us know. Hey, we're trying to fix this problem because it's causing a huge issue. Great, we'll we put you at the front of the list, but there's probably going to be another set of customers in that same list, so it's just one priority over to another. Anyway, so we've got UI things. Oh, by the way, we talked about this before we started the live stream. We have a couple customers who are trying to reconcile ahead of time before they received it, and that's fine. That typically works fine, but we've had issues with that with QuickBooks Online. The pop-up message here is create bill and accounting after reconciling receipt. That's a specific message to tell you that it can't be done, or that will happen a certain way, right? And I don't have the exact pop-up message, but I was talking to Fishbowl about that particular issue, and glad to see that here. Let's see here. Error when canceling payment with AutoPack modules enabled. Okay. Okay, CSVs. So custom field changes. Updated instructions for pertaining to part tracking. Let's go see if they've done anything. Fishbowl inventory wiki. Oh, you know what? Let's go take a look. So whenever you find yourself like wondering those, like, what's the import format for this and that? It's on the wiki. On imports and exports, you can find it. So CSV. I have a feeling that cycle count data was missing instructions like we had for add inventory. They added this thing. If part tracking does not match existing inventory, new inventories will be added with the supply tracking. Did that? Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it does. It always did that. I always told customers that if you're cycling down to 0 because you can't find it, you're gonna want to. And let's actually show that. Let's actually show that. So I'm gonna do an export here. Cycle count data. Let's open it. So I think what was probably happening, and I've seen customers have this as a challenge. They kind of don't really understand too much when it comes to this sort of thing. You find something with a lot. Go away, serial numbers. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. So we got these items, right? And they're at quantity of 32 and 28, actually. Oh. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So what happened is, what if lot number 42 and lot number 876546 isn't there, right? Well, what happened is most likely companies would change this and go lot number 000, right? Or XYZ and DEF, right? So to Fishbowl, it seems like, oh, okay, well, since that lot number and those two lot numbers don't exist, add those in. It doesn't change the tracking at all. So you end up with duplicate inventory. Right? So just keep that in mind. I usually tell people if it's not there, you can't find it, set it to 0, because that cycles it down. If you find another tracking, put it right next to it and cycle it up. That's what would cause people some confusion when they're trying to understand that. So hopefully we clarified that for a few customers. Back to the notes. Custom field types. Yep. Customer save prompt after viewing. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Oh yeah. There's a whole lot of compatibility and improvements here. Just like with the Canadians. Reckon is Fishbowl Australia, right? So I know they've got a lot of things there, because we work with the Australian team quite a bit. So if any Aussies are watching this, hello. I think Reckon had needed some updates, so they've got to support that connection as well. So there's a whole host of things in that one sentence, and hopefully that works out for their Australian and New Zealand friends. We've got receiving issues. Yep. Label reports. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, all right. Now we can talk to the longer part of this discussion. And it's a 45-minute stream. If you're here already, still, thank you for staying this far. We've got some big changes to talk about with the custom fields, right? One of the differences between the custom fields now, and I'll show this. I have to be very careful. I don't want to disclose customer information as I switch between screens here. In fact, the more and more that I do these live streams, I might as well just buy a special computer for this purpose only.
By the way,
Yep.
something really quick to note, there is no warning about that. If you just, it tells you it's available, update Fishbowl, there's nothing that pops up. I just tried to launch
I
this.
was thinking that, and actually,
Yeah.
Josh is able to see my screen, not the stream, but
Oh, right.
I'll flip back over. It just has this, right?
Your version.
So if
And
you
it just
click,
says update.
yeah, and for good and bad reasons, I understand they probably didn't plan on 2020.3. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. They probably did plan 2020.3 to have these big changes, but I feel like they should tell customers that, hey, this could be different, and you should take a look at it.
Just like they did on their website. If
Yeah,
you match the same
just on
kind of disclaimer.
yeah,
They
same.
have sent out emails, but you would think, why not add that disclaimer there?
Yes, and that was this Monday, right? And
Oh, but you know what? They would have to update the old system in order to add that kind of feature, right?
yeah,
How would
well,
you get that into the system,
well,
into the
well,
flag?
QuickBooks does this. QuickBooks has that functionality where seemingly their product gets newer updates, so I'm sure they figured it out.
Hmm.
But they also kind of break things too. They've had like 2018, 2019 QuickBooks has had weird problems. That could be its own live stream of the shenanigans that we get with QuickBooks
Right.
exports. In fact, we could probably have a live stream on that at some point. Here's how to survive QuickBooks Enterprise. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is go to the data module for this fishbowl and try to be very careful. And what I'm going to do is show what's changed, right? Back to my computer. So this is my customer fishbowl database. Just a lot of the information is redacted, just not everything. I've changed the names to protect the innocent. But what we're talking about here in the Fishbowl 2020.5 release is the fact that these tables, which I will call data storage tables or entity tables or what have you, would store a single piece of information of a type, right? So integers would be the integer table, varchars would be in the varchar table, varchar long would be the varchar table, custom timestamp, dates, timestamps, custom sets would be the drop down values, and then yada yada yada. So the idea was that these tables would have a record ID, a, um, a custom field ID to indicate what it is, and then the value. Those three pieces of information, and the value would get stored in its proper format. Like if it's a date, it gets stored in a date column. If it's a number, then it gets stored in a integer column. If it's a decimal, it gets stored in a decimal column, right? It was in my mind the proper way of storing data in a database like this, and being able to have it be flexible, where um, teams can write data to that, developer teams, and it's the database is storing it the right way. There's not a whole lot of structure to it. Now, in the latest Fishbowl, and since I have both of them side by side, back to the computer. If you go to the custom section here, it's a lot less, right? We don't have the custom integer, that's gone. We don't have the custom um, set, that's gone. We don't have the custom varchar long, that's gone. We don't have the custom timestamp, that's gone. So a lot of custom tables were removed, right? So, but Fishbowl's not deleting the data, right? It's storing it somewhere else, and that's what they were trying to explain with these notes on the release notes. That like, hey, it's now different, right? So please keep that in mind. So let's look at where that's happening now. So what I'm going to do is going to go to this visual bikes table, click star from SO, and what we have there now is going to be a different format, right? So we've got this is the same structure. This hasn't changed, but there will be a new field added to this table called custom fields, right there, right? And I'm going to grab that one and throw it in a pretty print tool. Oh, I don't like that one. That's too many ads. Make pretty. There we go. So you can see how this is stored, right? Okay, what does that mean? So JSON is what the JavaScript object notation format, which is probably the format du jour to store and communicate information across different systems between websites, systems, software, apps, mobile. There's a lot of other formats like XML, if you're familiar with those. Those are other platforms that also allow you to transfer data or documents and things like that. But the JSON format is very simple. It's got these curly braces, and then you give it a name of things, and then it's either another curly brace or it's a list of things, and either it's a number or text, basically. And what's happening here is that the Fishbowl's decided that instead of tables, it's going to store things in this JSON string, right? This text, and because that would enable them to have the functionality that I think that they're talking about. I have not spoken to Fishbowl directly about this. I've given them my opinions about it. So that you can have the layout functionality, although we can see that in certain cases you still have to restart the Fishbowl client to make things work. So I don't know what that's about. But the idea was that, okay, instead of storing it at the database level, we'll store it as a text level and keep it near the data, right? In this case, the sales order, right? So if I go to the sales order, it's just a very accessible field, right? And in the past, what would happen is, and I've got some examples here, so I prepared for this. Let me just get those ready. Come on, remote desktop. Or not. And I think my remote computer crashed. All right, hold on. Technical difficulties. Let me stop that. Stop the connection. Remote desktop. Yeah. Okay, there we go. There we go. Are we back now? We are back. Okay, cool. And Josh, you still need to see the screen with Zoom, so there you go. See that now?
Yeah.
Cool. So if we go back to the oh gosh, I don't need that to fail on me now. And come on, there we go. So we've got a bunch of little queries and just some examples. What would happen most likely is I'll copy this guy. I'll zoom in on everything here. Is this would be the style of custom field that we do, right? We'd have a custom table, give it a name, and we join by ID and sales order ID. So let's say 80 to 100 characters of typing, right? The new style is just this, which is let's give it a 45 character typing, right? And that's what they were meaning by the notes in the release notes that they've added some new functions to the database to help. So we've got custom field by name and custom field ID by ID, right? So we were using that here to test some things out, and what I'm planning on doing is probably testing the performance of an actual live sized database, right, of a customer with history. So give me a second while I get that ready. Hopefully my connections here don't fail me. So I'll log out of this one. And then I'll switch the databases around. How big is that place in Jersey, Josh?
It's pretty big. It's the middle of nowhere, so that's why it's like it's it's a reasonable price because it's not near anything that you need to be. Like it's not near any shopping malls, which is exactly the way we want it. Because we're looking to kind of hide out a compound.
Oh my
We're kind of
gosh.
we're waiting for the world to collapse, and it's like,
Oh, Josh, don't tell me that.
well, no, I am, but not the rest of my family. But I made them paranoid enough to try to convince them, hey, we really should. You know, um,
Josh, you're too funny. That's,
sorry.
there's no way around it. It's just.
Yeah,
But
I
to
mean,
be fair, there is that's the reason why there's gardening happening in my patio.
yeah,
I needed a COVID.
food source, food
No, not
source.
even that. It's just like it's nice to do something that's not technical. You know,
Oh, okay.
maybe at some point we'll turn this into a gardening channel. Probably not. Probably not. Nobody wants to see my gardening.
I don't know. People might be depending on it. The new world order. You have to make your own food.
Okay. All right. Cool. Now I know. So back to the stream. We've got on the left hand side, I've got Fishbowl, older Fishbowl. I can't show you the version because it would disclose my license key, and I don't want to do that. And on the right version, I've got Fishbowl 2020.5, right, the latest version. And this was one thing that I saw that I wasn't sure I quite liked, and we're just gonna run some tests and see how things go. So one of the things I noticed is with our custom fields. Let me just double check. I have done my job. Yeah, I did my job. Is that I've got a custom field, let's say called flag, right? And it's just a single custom field. I'm checking it off, right? I'm searching it, and oh, excuse me, gotta do it again. All statuses. Here we go. Yeah, all statuses. Okay, so I've got 1,293 odd records here. Cool, no big deal. And let me just double check. I'm going to do the right thing here with the advanced search over here. Oh, okay, I got to clean that up. This is what I get for not double checking my work. We were trying to do this earlier when Fishbowl dropped it, like as of like a minute ago, but I had customer meetings to get to, and they're already scheduled, so I can't push those back. That's why we're doing this a bit behind on schedule or planning. Uh, just a little bit to know, Fishbowl, when they release things, they have a little bit of a release party. I've been to them. I've actually released one Fishbowl myself. There's a nice little red. I think they still do this. They have a red button and a key, kind of like a fire key or something like that, and you unlock and hit it, and then that sends the signals to the website to make it live. And it was nice to do that myself one year. Okay. I want to show you one of the things I was fearing about the Fishbowl upgrade. So what I had done just now is, oops, let's be careful about what I'm showing, right? Okay, so it took a little bit of time. So one of the things that I was trying to explain is that um, the custom fields, right? The when you change it, right? You notice that in the storage of those custom fields, they actually had the ID number and the name, right? So in order for them to get updated, you've got to go then update all of those fields with the new values of like the name, right? And that just takes time. Um, so that took a little bit of time to update. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. But this part that I was a bit concerned about, I want to see how this latest version handles. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is do an advanced search here. And see, this is interesting. I changed the name of the custom fields in the user interface, but it's still here in advanced search. So that's a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to restart the client. And I'm sorry for like flipping back and forth between the client and things like that. Just want to make sure that I am being careful with this. Okay. Okay. Back in business. So so here's the flag, right? Very if I want to follow along, I've got the flat similar thing here. So now you can see the big differences between the two systems, right? So just to remind you, I'm doing all status with that flag, which is just it doesn't matter what it is. It's just there's 1,293 orders with it, right? So and it's the same database. There's one is upgraded to another. So we're gonna do it here. Okay, that went pretty fast. We're gonna do it over here, checked, and search. And this is the part that I was concerned about. It takes a bit longer, right? That doesn't seem that bad, but it gets a little more challenging down the road. So hold on. Okay. So now what I'm going to be doing is setting up a different query style for both. So those are my queries designed for Fishbowl 2020.5. And we got another style here for Fishbowl 2020.3, right? And I'm going to just make the result smaller because I don't want to show anything that I don't want to show. So for this one, I'm going to run this. This is a very simple query, just 4 custom fields and display them, right? So I'll run that. And I've got the full 150,093, right? Now what I'm going to do is take out this where clause and make sure I include these 4 custom fields in it, right? So very similar, right? This will definitely be a different experience. Yep. So on the whole, it's taking longer, right? And that's the sort of thing that I was concerned about. Now let's get some additional criteria here. So CF, what was in my notes? CF 52, true. Okay, so that was near instantaneous, right? I got 1,293 records. This is definitely different. So I'm pulling 4 custom fields, and am I doing the right ones? Got a different result set. Custom field 52, custom field 52. All right, let me go troubleshoot this. Maybe I made a change in my query here. But part of what I was tracking is if this was the performance is any different or better. But let's find out. Maybe I'm wrong. We were tracking this the other night, staying up rather late, and we weren't seeing what we were expecting to see. So we were a bit concerned. So if this is already fixed, then this is good. Oh, interesting. I don't have any values for that custom field. That's that is definitely interesting. So I ran it all, and somehow I don't have custom field 52 available as a record, as a value like I do over here for 1293. Did that change? I think it did. So let me double check. Interesting. Well, that is. I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with that situation because I only renamed it, yet I can't find the value anymore for it. Let's go double check. We've got an order, and where so.num equals 10327. Okay. Interesting. That is very interesting because that sales order. I I wonder if did the values just change with that custom field change that I made? I can't imagine it did. All right. Well, that is definitely the case, ladies and gentlemen. That is definitely a bug that we're finding in custom fields. Where I think with the combination of changing the custom field name and type, something happens with the original values of the custom field. Actually, I didn't even notice that this would happen now, because I think at some point we definitely had the item that's checked. Let me just double check. So we go all. We uncheck that there. Now I'm just making the system behave under load. So I've got the same number of orders, same things there. But if I check it here, and I might have to go check the history of the live stream because I'm not even sure if that's the case. But yeah, interestingly enough, that if yeah, I'm sorry to say that there definitely is a bug. I thought my queries were gonna show some performance changes, but clearly it's a bit different. I've got some other things to also share in terms of performance that's a bit different between the two platforms. So we can look at that. So that is definitely a concerning thing. So I'm sorry. Let me get set up for the next test. That was also something I wanted to review with the audience. Is we'll do some basic custom field joins, just to prove the fact that we're downloading some decent data. And so I've got these two queries here. Again, I'll make my result table small because I don't want to share anybody information. So I'll run this one. This one's a very basic query where we just load the items and the products. That's it, right? And that took an amount of time, right? 32,000. That's easy. Now this is something that I didn't expect to think because I'm not using the custom fields at all, and this will end up taking a bit longer. And so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. We were tracking that this was about twice as long, or 3 times as long, depending on the situation. Yeah, there we go. And that was a bit concerning to me. In fact, that's not the only time I saw this change happen. We saw this also happening in our database tools. So let me switch over to that as well. Okay, so now we've got original database, which I've got over here, and same query. That should give us a transaction, a result in about less than 2.5 seconds, right? Not that much time. We'll go to our Fishbowl 2020.5 database and run that, and we definitely get a different result. We got 8 seconds, right? So 4 times as slow, right? Which is definitely concerning to me because I don't think that many customers are going to really consider the performance degradations that these new custom fields are having, and I'm not really sure. And then for us, if we're being held to account for some of our applications and performance, there's some slowness going on. Let me get another query here, and this is like the maybe the yeah, and I can't do some of my queries now because I can't find some of these values because I don't have check custom fields anymore, which is a bummer, unfortunately. But let me see if I can run this all sales data, kind of like the kitchen sink query on the original system, and I'll just make my list really small here. Run that off. .822 seconds plus a few seconds there, a few milliseconds there. I'll run this again on the Fishbowl 2020.5 database. 8 seconds, 9 seconds. Yeah. So there's some performance change between databases, right? And we're going to continue tracking that here on out. Love to hear what people are having, their own observations. We'll be tracking that over time. This is the same system, same software, same everything. The only difference is that the performance is slightly slower with these latest Fishbowl installations or databases. And yeah, let us know what you think. I think that's it for the live stream. I in terms of my opinions of the overall update, I really like some of the things they're doing. That's probably how most of these reviews go. There's some things that I don't like, but I think it's fair for everybody to take a look at what the Fishbowl upgrade is doing and how that's going to change between customer to customer. In fact, before we close, because I have these databases now, Josh. Now you can see the differences between the two home screens, right?
I knew there was a difference.
There's a difference, yeah. So it makes more sense.
Swim lane, it's nicer.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for the live stream. I've got some other meetings to get to. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll talk soon. And if you guys like, visit the store website, and happy to have you. All right. Thanks, Josh.
Bye.
Talk to you later. All right. Bye.
Yes.